Good evening, world. It's Thursday, May 15th, 2017, and this is S-Gold, back with another installment, the fourth so far, in my software development video series. Today I'll be demoing Mod, my open source editor for animated 3D models. Mod is a very new, initial commit was just 5 weeks ago, so the feature set and user interface are still changing rapidly. There's also not much documentation. Perhaps this video will help get me going on that. The startup screen, not interesting. It's pretty. This is the real meat of it. This is the main screen, what I call the 3D view screen. There's a menu bar across the top, but most of the user interface is actually chopped up into overlapping subwindows called tools. For instance, you'll see top-level information about your model using the model tool. Similarly, there's a spatial tool, tells you about the nodes and geometries that make up your model. It's an animation tool for seeing information, editing your animations. And there's a bone tool for viewing and editing your skeleton and the bones in it. Keyframe tool for viewing and editing your tracks and the keyframes in those. You can arrange the tools to suit your needs. And when you select a tool or reselect it, that brings it up to the top, which is convenient. But in fact, the controls work even when they're overlapped. So even if the bone tool is on top, you can still use the spatial tool, for instance, to edit the shadows. There are the shadows. And when you're done with the tool, you can dismiss it by clicking on the little X in the upper right. Dismissing a tool has no effect on anything else, so it's always a safe thing to do if you want to clean up your workspace. You'll notice that the menu bar and most of the menu items are numbered. Those numbers are actually hotkey shortcuts. So for instance, you can select the keyframe tool 6-1 by pressing 6-1 on the keyboard. Other hotkeys include A to turn left and D to turn right, and F1 to edit your hotkey bindings. Did you catch my demo of bind screen back in March? Well, if not, it's on YouTube, so I won't demo it now. There's X, Y, and Z keys to create snapshots or checkpoints and navigate them. So, Z is undo, and X creates a checkpoint that you can undo to. Numpad 1 gives you the horizontal view. And I guess I should say something about, the sky control in the background. Good old sky control. The sky control demos are still available on YouTube if you're interested. By default, the camera orbits the model, or actually this little white star, which is our 3D cursor. You click on with the left mouse button to warp the cursor to a different part of the model, and then you turn the scroll wheel to zoom in or out, and then you drag with the middle mouse button to orbit the camera around the cursor. And you click with the right mouse button, by the way, to select bones in the model. There's also a fly cam mode, and I'm not going to demonstrate that tonight. Most of the editing features I've implemented so far are so mundane, they're hardly worth demonstrating. And the exception is the retarget tool, number 4.5, which provides a nice front end for Nahon's experimental software for retargeting animations. Mod comes with a skeleton mapping from Sinbad to Jamie, so let's try that out. You can see the map asset Sinbad to Jamie is loaded. The source asset Sinbad is specified. And all we need to do, I guess, is pick an animation. Let's do run base. And it's saying the map doesn't match the loaded model. Well, that's because we've got elephant loaded, and you need the target model to be loaded. That would be Jamie. So I'm going to load Jamie. Oops. Jamie. There he is. Now you click on the retarget button. It asks you for the name. We'll take the default. Click the retarget button again. And there's Jamie running. Slight problem. Jamie appears to be waist deep in quicksand. Happily, Mod can fix that. What you want to do is adjust the transform of the root bone. So you select the root bone in the menus, and there are actually 5 root bones, but the one we want is the one called root. To change the translation of that bone, you'll need the bone translate tool. And the controls are currently disabled because the animation's running. But if I stop the animation, then we'll be able to make edits. You could, of course, pause the animation using the animation tool, but there's an easier way. Simply pressing the period hotkey toggles loaded animation between running and paused. The middle slider now is going to adjust our y-axis. X and Z are also represented in case you need to adjust those. But what we really want to do is go back to the y-axis only. So yeah, about 4.5 bone units. Y offset of 4.5 bone units seems to work about right. Now the poses you create using bone translation tool are very temporary. They don't actually affect the 3D model at all. In fact, if I resume the animation, they go away completely. In order to make it stick, you have to apply the changes to the bone translation directly into the animation track of the model. So I'm going to go back to keyframe tool here. Well, actually, let me stop it. Re-enter the Y offset I want. And go into keyframe tool. You can see the track that's selected right now is the root bone in run base. It's already got a track. There's one translation in it. And what we want to do is set all those translations to the current pose. So the button does that. Now when I resume the animation, you can see Jamie's out of the quicksand. Yay, not bad for a couple minutes work. Final step is to save the modified 3D model. You can save anywhere in the file system that Mod has access, but I think it actually makes sense to save in asset space. Mod creates a folder/directory named written assets, especially for that purpose. Files in written assets take priority over assets stored in the class path. You can copy assets in and out of written assets as needed using your operating system. Very convenient, I think. So that's what I'm going to do. Save as asset, confirm the name, and there you go, it's saved. Notice the model tool now says the edit status is pristine because it matches what's in the stable storage. The last thing you need to do is know how to exit. There's a hotkey for that, escape, and it even gives you a little dialog asking you to confirm so you don't accidentally exit prematurely. Since Mod is open source, free as in freedom software, you can download it, run it, and tinker with it. Even send me pull requests if you want. The source code is on GitHub at github.com/StephenGold, all one word lowercase, /mod with a capital M, M-A-U-D. Well, that's all for tonight. This is S. Gold signing off. Good night, world, and sweet dreams.